Hello everyone, welcome to the THR show. My name is paul-azino. The THR show focuses on social sector managers and entrepreneurs who by sheer determination and passion work through their projects. On this show we will focus on the challenges and the impacts of this project. Please subscribe to our channel, give us a thumbs up. If you have questions, comments, suggestions, or people you would like us to interview, please drop a comment below. Hello everyone and welcome to the THR show. My name is paul-azino. Martin Luther King Jr. said that as his sufferings mounted, he soon realized that there were two ways in which he could respond to his situation. Either to react with bitterness or seek to transform the sufferings into a creative force. And he decided to follow the latter course. Today on the show we have a guest who isn't just an advocate or a survivor. She is one in her very own right, who I call an icon. And she's no other than Toyin Adesola. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Zaz.
It's so nice to have you on the show. So I'd like you to introduce yourself, because I haven't done justice to your profile, so do introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you and your organization.
Okay, Toyin Adesola is basically a sickle cell warrior, sickle cell advocate, and executive director and founder, Sickle Cell Advocacy and Management Initiative. I'm also a wellness coach of the Better You Wellness Academy. Basically, I'm an author and also an inspirational speaker.
So there's so many sides of you. So I'm going to take it bit by bit by bit. So let's talk about your role in SAMI. I like to call it SAMI. Sickle
Cell Advocacy and Management Initiative.
Okay.
SAMI.
So what do you do at SAMI? How do you run? What are your projects? Who's your focus?
Well, our focus mainly is people with sickle cell, living with sickle cell, and their families. Their families, because when you are younger, you can't manage your health. It's the parents that manage the health of the child. So we like to empower the parents, especially the mothers, because the mothers are the ones left to take care of the children, to know how to manage sickle cell and not just wait till the last minute to run to a hospital. And so our focus is on providing support. We run a monthly clinic called the Extra Care Free Clinic, where we do free drugs and we have doctors who come and consult. And then sometimes if they need be, we have blood tests. And then we also sometimes provide psychosocial support, which is including your medical bills, where funding is available, or school fees, or trying to set you up in a business, because we found out that young adults with sickle cell have been left to be on their own by their parents. The parents tend to forget that these people are battling getting a job as a youth and then also managing their health. So they are left on their own to fend for themselves. So it can be challenging trying to manage that. So we provide support. We have a club for young adults with sickle cell where we motivate and empower them to learn skills and know how to cope in society, which is called Club
You mentioned that you mentioned two initiatives, the Extra Care Sickle Cell Free Clinic, and then the Club Still Standing. Are there any more projects that you run?
Yeah, we have the awareness arm, which is the where we do the Red Umbrella work, which is done in collaboration with about 12 other NGOs, sickle cell NGOs, and it's to celebrate the World Sickle Cell Day, which is June 19th of every year. And then we also have the Touch a Cell Dance-a-thon, which is a school project where we create awareness among seniors and junior secondary school students. And basically what we wanted to try and do is to let them know their genotype and also break the stigma and the myths about sickle cell. So we tell them to do a dance and that tells a story about sickle cell, and they win prizes. And then we also do the free genotype, because we found out that if you are doing lectures, young people don't and they're not receptive.
So you find ways to engage them and be creative.
Exactly. So we use dance to tell, because dance is a very awesome way of telling stories and all that. So those are the two major projects we have in the awareness part.
I see that you're big on collaborations, because you mentioned 12 NGOs. Now that's not something that is very, that's not something that you know, it's very rampant in the
Yes.
non-profit space. How do you manage that? How do you manage collaborations, and why do you think that's the way to go?
I think collaborations help to pull the voice together as one, where they are more, especially if you are doing the same sort of focus area.
Okay.
It's good to have a voice. It brings people together to have a voice so that the government and society can hear you. But it's challenging because you have the issue of trust. You have the issue of some people wanting to be higher than others. Trying to manage people with different
But
mindsets.
I think that's a general thing that happens in the workspace where
Yes.
it's a general thing that happens every other space. It's not just non-profit space.
No, it's not. Even ordinary partnership. You want to start
Yeah.
a partnership for a business with another person. It's always a challenge. You know, trying to.
But that still doesn't deter you, because
No, I don't.
collaboration you know makes it bigger, makes it a stronger.
Exactly.
stronger voice.
It does. It does.
Okay.
It does work. And we
Okay.
found that there's advocacy in numbers.
Yes,
You know.
yes, yes. So I see that, you know, whilst you're introducing yourself, you mentioned a lot of things. You're a baker, you're an author. And speaking about that, you know, I see your books, and they're absolutely, of course, first things first, colorful.
Thank you.
You know, I'm going to read this, and I know that. So I see the two of them. The first that I'd like to look at is The Misadventures of Oga and Madam A.S. So I first read it wrong and thought it was
Ass.
ass. And then I was wondering.
I know a
no.
lot of people like
No.
ass. Really?
But you see, it's very creative, because they're like, you can't, because when you say ass, you're like, no. So it's in itself, it's very catchy. It tells you, read again. No, that's not what I mean. So it seems like it's a novel. What
Yes.
inspired this, and why did you come to do this?
Why I decided to do it is that I felt there need to be an awareness about how parents should manage their children with sickle cell, because working in the NGO space and dealing with parents and caregivers who look after people with sickle cell, I find that a lot of times caregivers are burdened about their children. It either has a negative perspective to it, in that they just abandon the children and they feel this child is a pain in the neck, you know, live my life, I'm living my own. Or they over smother the child and over protect the child, that the child, as I always
Doesn't
tell
have
people,
own experience.
exactly. So I said, look, God forbid, suppose you are not there, the child has to learn to be independent and learn to take care of themselves. So I started it as a way of educating families about sickle cell and just people in general. But I didn't want it to be so technical, so I now weave the story, which has a strange ending.
Oh, okay. So I'm going to read it now. I think it's going to be an interesting read, and I think that, you know, the viewers should look out for these books. So yes, so there's this book, and then there's this other one that I like. It says Still Standing. The graphics, I think your graphics person is an absolutely amazing, because I see that, you know, it has, you know, a tree. It's slit. You know, it's slanting, and it's representing, you know, I'm sure some of the things you've gone through, and it's an autobiography.
Yes, it's an autobiography, and that book is what got me to start the NGO, actually.
Oh, okay. So tell us about this, please.
Well, it's about my life living with sickle cell. I went through a lot, depression, about over 5 surgical operations, over 100 hospital visits and stays, blood transfusion. So I chronicled it, and how I had other complications. One thing about sickle cell, there are other complications that arise apart from the crisis itself with sickle cell, and sometimes the complications are the ones that are worse than the crisis itself, because they can sometimes lead to death. So I had what you call leg ulcers and other things. So it led to depression that I almost tried to commit suicide. It's in the book. And so my grandmother was somebody who was very arty. And she kept telling me, oh, I'm waiting for you to write your book. And I kept saying, but my life hasn't achieved anything. And but when she passed on, I just said, look, in her memory, I must do this book. And I started it, and got me into 2 television programs. Fumi Yoda's show back then, and then Adesola's first TV program. And it was in that I started getting a lot of awareness about people living with sickle cell who are going through what challenges that I thought I was going through. And I realized not much had changed. The awareness was not there. Parents were still seeing their children as, you know, some spiritual rejects, exactly.
Yes. So there's a lot of misconceptions and stereotypes.
Oh yes,
share some of the the stereotypes and misconceptions that you have encountered, in your work with sickle cell survivors and warriors, as it may?
Yeah, one of the misconceptions is that, people with sickle cell don't live till 21, which is a lie.
Because you are 52.
Yes, I'm 52.
She's 52, guys. And, it's... Okay, so let me let you finish. Let me not rant on you. Let me let you finish. Okay?
I'm 52, and there's a 92-year-old woman.
Okay.
Who is with sickle cell. She's Nigerian.
Wow.
And there's a 70-something-year-old man I know.
So I'm shocked myself, because I think somewhere in my head I have that misconception. Like, how do they do it?
I think because, earlier on, yes, because medical knowledge wasn't quite wide. Okay. Yeah, people with sickle cell died young. Okay. But medical knowledge is improving on a regular basis, and management is better. Okay. So people with sickle cell live longer nowadays. I always say that there are 3 reasons why a person with sickle cell dies. Okay. 1, mismanagement on the part of the family, mismanagement on the part of the doctor that they are seeing, because you'd be surprised, a lot of doctors don't know how to treat sickle cell. Okay. And then the last one, mismanagement on the part of the person themselves, psychologically and physically.